Podcast.
Welcome to another edition of This Random Podcast. I'm your host, Rick Sanchez.
I'm Enzo.
And let's jump right into it. Okay, so what if you had to put a price on your body? What would it be?
Yo, have you seen this body?
All right.
Probably like 50 cents. Bro.
I don't think that's what I was talking about, you know? This is a rated PG channel. We're not talking about prostitution here.
No, we're not.
All right, so what exactly are we talking about?
We are talking about... I don't know. What were we talking about?
All right, so one of the things so there's this show called Altered Carbon.
That's right.
Right? And the concept is... Well, before we break down the concept... let's just break it down. So the concept is your consciousness can be transferred into different bodies. But that also depends on how much money you have to be able to buy that body, correct?
Yes. So, something I never... Okay, I guess the show kind of explains, but in the beginning it's kind of hard to understand. That is, like, if you're dead, like, your body's dead. You know, it's like, how can you...
But your consciousness is, like, archived away?
Yeah, how can you choose to buy a new body, you know? Someone has to do it for you.
Okay, so you can bring you back from the dead, I guess?
Yeah, so I think this is how the show begins. Like, the guy was, like, on ice for, like, more than, like, 200 years.
Is Captain America or something?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
He looks like Captain America.
Really? Isn't he Asian?
Well, the guy, the blonde dude.
Oh.
Have you seen the blonde dude? He's like
Yeah.
the... Yeah, so it's the Asian dude, and then it's the blonde dude.
Okay.
And then it's the black dude. So...
That would be Shang-Chi.
Anyways, so he's like on ice for like over like 200 years, and then someone like buys him like to come back to life and like solve this like murder.
Okay.
You know, so like I think someone has to do it for you. Oh, you need like a hookup.
And that was Takeshi Kovacs.
Yes.
Kovacs.
Yeah, the
protagonist
of the show.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like you have this little like gadget thing like behind your neck.
Which is like your memory chip, if you will?
Yeah, it's like, it's who you are.
Okay.
It's you. But then, so like if you get shot, you know, or like you die, you have cancer or whatever, and you die, like, and you have money, you can buy a new body. You just transfer this little like chip.
So you put it in your will and testament, like, yo, if I die, give me this body back, type thing.
I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if you can pick. What I understand is kind of like a market. So you have like, because remember, like on second season, like they tell like, okay, so this body offers this and this, and you're like strong, and it comes with like this like kind of like weaponry and all this kind of stuff.
So you can pick a body. You can be like, yo, I want to be more of an athlete. I want to be more.
Yeah. So it's like looks and like features, you know.
Okay.
But then if you get killed, like if this thing breaks or someone like kills you like in the neck, you're dead for good.
You're not coming back.
Yeah,
it's your consciousness that's stored there. The body is irrelevant.
Yeah, the body it's a sleeve. That's what they call it. It's a sleeve.
It's a sleeve. Yeah, because I was reading on that because I know about the show. I haven't really seen it. I did a recap, and I started reading about the sleeves, and some of that was pretty interesting because it was saying that the rich people, because the sleeves have costs, so it's almost like going to buy a suit, if you will.
Yeah.
So the rich people can actually buy better sleeves, and if you get a new sleeve or something that's custom, you know, if you're like, yo, I want more muscles, I want to be blonde, I want to be, you know, long hair, whatever it is that you want to do, you know, whatever features is that you want, you can get it. But it says that if you buy a sleeve like that, it's more than somebody makes in a lifetime, than an average person makes in a lifetime to get one sleeve. So obviously the people getting the sleeves, the custom sleeves, are really rich. They're very wealthy. And then there's another thing over here that I thought that was super interesting is like if you're in a tragic accident, the government will give you, I can't remember what they call it.
Is that in the show or in real life?
No, in the show. It's like victim resolution, I think is what it's called, which it says over here. Yeah, victim restitution. Okay. It says, which provides a free sleeve to the victims of accidental deaths. But like all citizens, they are provided whatever empty sleeves are available with younger, healthier sleeves requiring a payment most can't afford. So they'll give you like a used sleeve or whatever they can. It's not anything great, but they'll be like, here's another shot at life.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that in the show. Maybe it is. But if it's not, I mean, it's a cool concept. So I was looking up, like how much would like a body cost in real life? You know?
What do you mean, like actually like buying like a dead body?
Yes. Or like, for example, if like this sleeve thing was a reality.
Okay.
So just like one average body. So I'm looking at medicalfuturist.com. So it says, if you could harvest every organ and chemical in your body, you could make 45 million.
What?
Yeah, you could make $45 million. Like,
Yo, what's worth the most?
legally, the average price of a human dead body is more likely to fetch around 550,000.
A dead body.
Yes, a dead body. But like that's like kind of like the price that like the government kind of like puts in it, just because, you know, like the health system.
Yo, you think your mom would be okay if I like sell you and just send her some money?
I think she would. But yeah, like the actual worth value of like a body is 45 million. So like putting like, you know, in our reality,
Okay.
is a tiny percentage of people that would be able to just buy one body. It's not like a body with
Right,
no
right,
features.
right.
It's just a body.
We're not talking about Cristiano Ronaldo here.
Bro, it could be like a friggin', you know, whatever, like a terrible body.
Okay.
Can you think of like the worst body ever?
Yes, I can. I have quite a
Your
bit.
own?
Yeah. No, I know. No, I appreciate
Okay.
myself. I think I'm worth some, you know.
All right.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
Not in the best shape, but I'll take it.
none of us could afford it.
Right.
So, you know, if you like put that in like the concept, it's kind of like the show also illustrates that like social like inequality. You know, so like some people like they just can't afford a new body. You know, it's like they have this like chip of like who they are like stored somewhere, but they can't bring him back because they don't have any money.
It's interesting. You say social inequality because, all right, I was gonna go somewhere else with this, but right now, since you brought that up, it's interesting because here in the U.S., for the most part, we have a lot of people that are overweight,
Yeah.
and many people are like, "Well, it's just expensive to eat a healthy lifestyle, so it's cheaper to buy processed foods and chips and cereal and fill yourself up." And yeah, sure, that's fine. But it's funny because here in the U.S., where we're more prosperous, we have more overweight people than in countries that people are very poor. You know, in third world countries. And I think a lot of it has to do because people actually eat rice, beans, potatoes, vegetables. You know, they eat very simple.
So what's the reason? Like, if we have more money here to buy healthy food, why don't we?
That we have more money. What do you mean?
Well, because you're seeing like third world countries, they eat better.
I think we eat better because we eat more simple. I think the system itself here has made it where
Like everything's processed. Is that what you
everything's
mean?
processed,
Okay.
everything's convenient. You know,
Okay.
everything's on the go.
Yeah.
And many people just don't want to take the time to cook.
Right.
So being overweight, in my opinion, back in the day, not in my opinion, but back in the day, the overweight people were the kings, you know, the royalty, the people of status. The thin people were the people that were poor. Now in the U.S., one of the most prosperous countries in the world, it's like everybody's overweight. It's constant, you know, it's constant feast. But it's funny because we complain because the people here, when we look at it from the U.S. standpoint, we're like, oh my gosh, you know, like we're the socially oppressed and we're all overweight and unhealthy. And the rich people are the ones that have trainers,
Right.
eat better, you know, and it's backwards. You know, they're thin. They're trying to keep themselves thin. And now we kind of like, you know, it's a juxtaposition. We basically just flipped it around and they're like, okay, it's the opposite for what it used to be. So now the poor is getting fatter here in the U.S.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's like we have so many calories and we have so little nutrients.
Right.
Anyways, I didn't want to go on that. I just thought it was interesting because we were talking about sleeves and it's like, man, is that the sleeve you want? You know, and I'm not. You know what? If you're overweight, that's your choice. You know, if you're young and that's all you got to eat. You know, maybe you question your parents. Say, hey, mom, can I get some veggies? Can I get some veggies?
Dude, that's something I've never heard.
What?
Here, hey mom, can I have some vegetables?
No, it's hey, mom, can I get the next sugary whatever, it's all,
Right.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I was raised and I was a heavy kid, so I know what it is, but let's stay back on track before we actually
All
get
right.
canceled. Okay. So the concept, so one of the things with altered carbon that I thought was interesting too is the fact that, and you can expand on this, is that you can actually grab your consciousness and send it to like other worlds for like rich people, so they can travel, like they can get their consciousness and basically like upload themselves to like another world, and there's a sleeve waiting for them over there.
Right.
Is that what it is? So it's almost like traveling, but you don't have to take the body, you just send the conscience, so you just upload yourself somewhere else.
I don't think that happens in the show.
It doesn't?
Like you go somewhere else and you have a different body somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe it shows. I don't remember.
Maybe it's in season 2. Because I was reading something about it. So it's almost like if let's say you have a body on Saturn,
Okay.
you can actually just go to this,
I don't remember that.
just kind of like email
I
yourself
don't remember
somewhere.
that. But that idea is crazy.
Yeah, it is
because,
crazy.
like, how can you... Are you supposed to be like a mysterious person if you go somewhere else? Because let's say if you're rich, like you might have somewhat power, or you might be somewhat famous, and you go somewhere else, but you don't look like you look like someone else, so you're just like anonymous, kind of.
But maybe over there in that place that you go, you already made a name for yourself.
Or maybe you look like you have a certain look or appearance depending on where you are, Yeah, that's crazy.
That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. In this day and age, they say that you can't speak for somebody else because you don't know what it is to be that person of that color or that. Bro, yo, give me a sleeve. Let me get in there. Let me give you my opinion now. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would.
Be like, yo, does the color of your skin or your, like where you're from, does it really change who you are? Well, here you go. And just, you would know, is it the mindset or is it the body? Because
Right.
the complaint is it's the body.
Yep.
Yo, that would be
Wow.
sick. That'd be an interesting experiment. Okay, so the fascination with this always trips me up because this basically, it brings up the concept of transhumanism. Transhumanism, getting, it's more of it's social philosophical, basically grabbing humans and augmenting them through, like robotic parts or trying to get people
Okay.
stronger, like almost like the you're kind of young for this, but like the $1 billion man, or the $6 billion, whatever it was, the bionic man. He
Yeah.
had a leg that was like bionic, and he made him stronger, faster.
Okay.
And part of the concept is of this, what it sounds like in this movie, is that people can be immortal, and not in this movie, in this show.
Kind of.
You know, your consciousness will go forever, and if you have a body that can sustain it, you just keep going
Right.
and going and going and going.
Because that's why we die, kind of. I mean, I guess our mind also gets like,
Deteriorated.
deteriorated. Yeah, like with time. But usually the body can't take it anymore.
Yeah, the body can, but even if but the concept of this is you get a new brain too. So the brain is just another organ that's functioning based on the consciousness that's being moved in this show. So if you have a good mind, if you have a fresh mind and you throw the consciousness in there, it'll just keep operating. No,
Yeah.
it's like a computer.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just getting a hard drive that
Right.
never dies into, a different CPU, RAM, and just keep flipping it off, and just, it just keeps upgrading and never dies.
Well, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like this whole idea of like being immortal, because in the show there's like a lot of people, like it's kind of a messed up show. So there's a lot of like messed up things in society. There's a bunch of like sex slaves and people like doing like criminal activity like on the streets and everything. Because you know what, if you got money, it doesn't matter what you do, because you can just become someone else if you die or if you get caught or whatever.
Wow, so a life with no consequences type of thing?
Yeah.
Huh. That's yeah. Well, the last thing I want to bring up was, not the last thing, but something else I want to bring up based on this was something that we're seeing here closely. And my brother-in-law brought this up to me, and he was like, "Hey, have you heard of Neurolink? Have you heard of Neurolink?"
I've heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Okay, so Elon Musk, what he's developing. So where the Neurolink